Hi, and welcome to Stellarossa. We're sitting here today in our coffee roasting facility in Kelvin Grove. We've come a long way in the last 15 years, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background on who we are and where we all started. My background was hairdressing. I started a hairdressing apprenticeship at 15, did that for 20 years. Phil, you were...
First haircut. I was first practice haircut.
And I cut his ear, and we're still mates today. But then Phil, you went on to industrial recruitment.
Yeah, I spent 15, 16 years with the company, industrial labour hire recruitment. Started with them as a very small company. Four owners owned the company, and they went through expansion nationally with offices in every state in Australia, including Tassie. They went through a public listing and then a buyout, and I kind of went through a few different roles with them and that, from basically recruiting staff through to internal operations management, quality assurance, documenting systems for the company as they grew. Yeah.
And coming back, I think we worked out the other day, 43 years ago, Phil was my first haircut. And in Bundaberg, we grew up in Bundaberg together, so mates for a long time. It's been a good journey. So I did hairdressing for 20 years, and then I got into a mobile cafe franchise, which I've still got today. But that I got out of the mobile, well, I'm actually still in the mobile business, but I wanted to get into site-based businesses. So in 2008, Phil and we used to catch up every couple of months and have a steak and a couple of beers on a Friday. And Phil was looking for a change into a new venture.
15 years in one job was time for a change. Change is as good as a holiday, as they say.
And I was looking to do something different, as I said. So I pitched the idea of Stellarossa over a lunch, and that was pretty much how it started. And I could probably be a little bit corny and say it started on the back of a beer coaster, but it pretty much did. So from there, where did we start our first store?
North Quay.
That's right.
And down in the valley.
Yeah, so First two stores, we ran them ourselves, got them up and going, got to learn, what to do and what not to do, and it was a bit of a journey, a bit of a learning curve in those early days. But the idea was always to franchise, because had a franchise background from the mobile coffee van business that I have. So that was always the goal. So those first two stores, we franchised them, and then we just kept growing from there. We were city based, so the whole business model was grab and go food, but really emphasising quality coffee and in Brisbane City. So smaller footprints, Monday to Friday business. What did we grow to?
Nine shops in the City Valley area.
Yeah, and that was that was great, but you've got the Monday to Friday business model is a tough one, especially in the city. From there, we ventured. We still, those stores maintained, and they were successful. But not coincidentally, but we've got 0 stores in the city now because it's just not our business model. And I think the first foray into out of the city, where did we go to? Was it Mackay? Really,
out of Brisbane City would have been Mango Hill.
Mango Hill.
Yeah. But regionally, the first store was up in Mackay. Yeah.
So we actually got approached by a couple who there was a new site out at Mango Hill, and we really didn't know too much about that market at all. So it was something totally different, but they were very, very confident in that area and the site location, and so it was a bit of a leap of faith, and we jumped into it, and it went really well. That franchise partner is actually still with us today, and was running 3 successful Stellarossa cafes. Has just sold 1 and still owns 2. I think did they open another one at Narangba? Was that the way?
Yeah, they went to Narangba. And Joe had a 3rd store at Arana Hills.
Yeah. So it really opened, I guess, it was a change of our business model. So we saw a whole new frontier for Stellarossa. As we got to the end of leases in the city, we started moving them on or shutting them down because it just wasn't our business model anymore. And the burbs, they welcomed us.
Yeah, I think it kind of coincided with that population move to Queensland and growth of Queensland. It had a really large urbanisation going on in the outer suburbs. So we just grew with that. All these new little shopping centres that were open, we moved into those centres and grew with Brisbane, basically, or Greater Southeast Queensland.
Yeah. And that's still a very strong growth area for us now. Is that the suburban or the suburbs and regional Queensland. So currently we're only in Queensland. We do have plans to move into state in the future, but there's such a massive growth market here in Brisbane. In Queensland. So, there's plenty of opportunities here. So we're as far north as Cairns. We've got a few stores in Mackay, Rockhampton, and then quite a few in and around Brisbane, down to the Gold Coast, out to Toowoomba. When did we opened our first drive-through? Actually, I'll digress for a minute. Phil went on a lengthy holiday, and when he came, that was 2019, and I had, behind his back, actually did a deal for a drive-through up at Sippy Downs, and Phil got back he'd been in Bali for a couple of months, not sure, but
someone's
too long.
Do it.
He's always on holidays. So he came back and I had Sippy Downs drive-through written on my whiteboard, and he was, let's just say, he was a little bit surprised, and a few choice words came out from that. But look, we started first drive-through Sippy Downs Easter 2019, and not knowing anything about drive-throughs, that was a massive learning curve.
Yes, it brought a whole different dynamic to the cafe market, where we had to think about, well, what else happens with the drive-through, the speed of service through the cafe without affecting the seating diners at the same time. So interesting, but not obviously unsolvable. So, and I mean, the Sippy Downs has turned into looking back now, retrospectively, it's a cracker of a site. So.
Yeah, it's one of our leading performers. It's a great site, but in the early days, it was a little bit stressful. I was thinking, what the hell have we done? Our approaches are very different, even though we're good mates and we get along really well. But Phil and I are yin and yang, and I'm sort of a bit more of the cavalier. She'll be right. It'll work.
And I'm the detail guy.
Yeah. So it's a really good balance, and Phil keeps me in check, and I jump off the cliff every now and again and build the plane on the way down, and Phil comes along for the ride. So I say that a little bit tongue in cheek, but it's a little bit more science to it now.
Yeah. But I think Sippy Downs is a prime example of that growth area in southeast Queensland, where alone in houses, there's probably 3,000 or 4,000 houses that have been built in that area around Sippy Downs. The site's in a major service area, close to the arterial road in and out, the highway, so gets a fantastic morning trade. You look at it on paper 6 years ago, you would have went, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But now you look at it and go, how do we get a site in there?
Yeah.
So,
this was a good move.
Yeah.
But early days, it was pretty slow, and it was, COVID was bad for a lot of things, but it was really good for the drive-through market, and we it was growing month by month, but we plateaued there for a while, and then COVID hit, and it just took off. It absolutely took off, and has never dropped off since. So currently we've got five drive-throughs in the market. We've got everything from a small kiosk model up to a larger cafe model, some with a liquor license. There's plenty of room for growth in Queensland, and I think we've got another drive-through opening in a couple of weeks' time up in Hervey Bay, and Phil was just in regional Queensland yesterday up in Gladstone looking at a site, and I'm heading to Emerald next week, and it's very, very healthy, very buoyant. Look, I mean, as from our growth model, I mean, we're strategy, we're still, as I said before, growing in the Queensland market. There's a lot of room here. There's a lot of new developments, new suburbs opening up all the time. Cafes, closing, moving on, and then thereafter new cafe models for their site. So there's a lot of exciting stuff for Stellarossa, and I guess at the moment, I'm on my later side of 50, and I've still got plenty of fire in the belly and still enjoying the ride, and there's plenty of time to keep growing. And
and I think that the growth side of things with our network, we're always looking to grow, whether it's within the current model format or some other type of variation of the format that we've got going. Like one of the most recent stores we opened was a kiosk model. We've kind of been out of the kiosk model, which was very much like our original CBD or city-based model that we started. But there is opportunity in that kiosk space.
Absolutely.
There's still opportunity into the drive-through and the inline space. It's all underpinned, I suppose, by our beliefs that the business environment is still strong in the cafe sector. In fact, we've invested with our partner in the roasting facility. We took that as a way of securing our own, I suppose, supply chain delivery, increasing the quality on the product of the bean that's coming through to the stores, basically investing in the business and the store operators to improve the overall quality in store.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, I guess hopefully that gives you a little bit of an understanding of who we are, and we're like I said right at the start, we're a couple of mates that got out and got into a good cafe business. We're constantly modifying, we're constantly tweaking, trying to perfect the brand. We're introducing new systems all the time,
reinvesting in it where we can with time and effort.
We've got actually to date, we've got the most amazing team. We're probably the best team we've ever had, and a great group of franchise partners as well, which we're very proud of that. And there's plenty, like I said before, plenty of room for growth, and we're enjoying the journey, continuing to.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course, Stellarossa. What does it mean, and who came up with it? Well, I've got to say, I came up with that name. It was I'll bore you with the details a little bit, but I had a bit of an understanding of Latin, and nothing too exciting. But I was sitting in a dentist chair one day, and Phil and I we'd registered quite a few names, and nothing was really sticking, and nothing really felt right. And I was reading an architectural magazine, and there was a three-dimensional red star, and I just went, Stellarossa, that's it, because star is Stella in Italian, Rossa is red in Italian. I rang Phil and I said, "Mate, what do you reckon about this? I think this has got a really good ring to it." And he went, "Yep, sounds great." So we then wrapped a red star around it, and then went and registered it, and we had a little couple of trademark issues.
Yeah, that wasn't without its hurdles, but we got past them.
Yeah. So originally the name was actually, because it's two words, Stella with a star in the middle, and then Rossa, and that got knocked back with IP Australia. And I just said to the graphic designer, actually it was my brother-in-law, I said, "Okay, Paul, I want you to put the words together and put the star up the top." And we contacted the lawyers, and I remember our IP lawyer just said, "Oh, Darren, that's never going to fly. There's no way you'll get that through." And 2 weeks later, he came back and he said, "I don't know how, but it's passed." So
Success.
It was success. Yeah. It was meant to be. But look, we quite often get asked, where did you bring this name from? Is it a European brand? And so the name really has resonated with a lot of people, and it has got a good ring to it. If I do say so myself. But yeah, a lot of people think it's been around for a very long time. But yeah, that's the little backstory behind the name.